Yeah, it's good. We're seeing good shows, so I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm like, it's worth spending time at the
Yeah,
shows. Like,
2025 is off to a good start.
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Depends who you ask in what way, but
Yeah, yeah. Fashion news wise.
yeah, that's very true. No, I think that I think speaking on creativity, I think one of the reasons why, for me at least, Berlin is a place to go is, um, I think that there is no fashion city that does what Berlin does. Like that focuses on sustainability and creativity, and kind of has a very close connection to their own culture, which I find super interesting, and that's the reason why I keep coming back to Berlin Fashion Week. But I think, what do you think as far as the creativity go? Is your first Berlin Fashion Week?
Yeah, it's my very first Berlin Fashion Week. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
talk.
And it's all the more meaningful to me because I'm half German and my German side is from Berlin. So
Okay.
I've known the city since I was a child.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I have relatives here. Even though I never lived in Berlin, I have very fond childhood memories. So I have a special connection to the city. So for me, Berlin Fashion Week is a special one.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
and getting to know about more of the German fashion landscape, seeing it growing, and it kind of reminds me of. I moved to New York in the mid '90s, and it does give me a little bit of that. Like wild, innovative space, just like what New York felt like back then. Yeah,
No, that's good. No, it's my. I think it is my sixth time,
cool.
or fifth time at the Berlin Fashion Week, and it's nice to follow these. The same way that you follow Valentino or Gucci. It's nice to follow these brands that are kind of smaller, but they still like want to make it big. There's great brands here, so I'm super happy to see. Even yesterday, Lou de Bertolli
I
had like
love
a
her.
great collection. Probably
She's
one of
super
the
talented.
very, very talented. Probably one of the best collections that I've seen in Berlin Fashion Week since I started coming. And Heiderlump, sorry for my bad German pronunciation. I tried German for 2 years. It didn't work. Very difficult language. But no, but there's a lot of creativity here, and their approach to creativity is, it's very raw. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because everybody stays away from raw because they find it like a little too much. They don't know how to use it, I think. But like Germany does it in a very authentic way.
Yeah, and I think it's a time for the German fashion industry to finally create this unified this hub because um, the business here is split between Hamburg, Berlin, but also Munich, and I think Hugo Boss, which is the iconic German brand. I think they're in Metzinger, so it's all spread out. So having it all united in one fashion week. I mean, hopefully more German brands will participate to make this more of a impactful.
Do you miss the menswear here? Because like what you love from what I know about you is the menswear. I mean, like, do you think that there's a great way to get into menswear eventually here? There's looks that are.
Yeah, and actually I had this fantasy to one day I would launch my own menswear German label curated for the German market. So
there you go.
yeah, so maybe that will come.
Don't tell it to them. They're gonna steal your plan.
Oh, okay. Oops.
It's too late now. No, that's good though. That's very cool. No, I think like menswear is not as represented here as the women's wear, and I think that men still want to dress. They want to have the same styles and the same way that like women have. There's a lot more options for women.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of like interesting, especially today that we live in this industry that is kind of like erasing these genders. You can wear whatever you want. This is a woman's coat. I don't care. But I think that like fashion is kind of like erasing these like lines, what you can wear and what you cannot wear. What do you think about that?
Um, I think it just goes with the time, and people are more free to enhance who they are, you know, with just different type of clothing, and fashions become way more democratic, and especially for men. So I mean, I've seen the evolution. Being at the magazine for 15 years, now we dress like athletes are passionate about. I mean, they're very serious about their image, how they dress, and they're very opinionated about how they should look like. That was not the case. I mean, when I first started 15 years ago, it was still very shy, and now it's became serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when in the States, when you see, NBA players and NFL players going to these events and they're wearing a Tom Brown suit. And I'm like, okay, like you're delivering fashion and I love it. It makes me want to learn more about football. That's never going to happen. But I think it's it's now fashion feels present literally everywhere. No matter what you do, there's like an aspect to fashion, being menswear or women's wear. There is a connection to it, which I find super interesting. Beyonce, first person that comes to my mind. Even the tour that she had, it was just like, what designer is she going to wear next? Is it going to be Elie Saab or Lou de Bertolli, who she wore at the Renaissance tour? There's always this kind of like connection to fashion. So I'm like, I find that super, super interesting because like in the 90s, it wasn't like that.
No, I mean, when I first started fashion, the industry was small, and I think it was. I mean, it felt like it was just for people who just lived extraordinary lives, and I looked up at these people just like they were part of a high society community. The fashion editors, the designers, they were stars in their own way. Untouchable. It was just a very. It felt like an elite.
Yeah.
And now fashion's become. Fashion is entertainment. So you went from a very this little bubble of special people to now it became so big.
Yeah.
And now athletes are the our fashion stars.
I was actually reading a book about that. There's a great book called Fashion Conspiracy by Stephen Coleridge. And just when it comes to that, they literally blame Italians for that. Because Italians were they were the first kind of like a fashion hub that puts designers as celebrities. They would like take pictures of Donatella Versace or like Armani on a yacht, So this kind of like a push for celebrity, literally from what I understand, came from them.
Yeah.
And I find it super fascinating. So they were before, I think, all of us. They would end up like there would be gossips about them and like how much they spend and what kind of dishes they're because like at the end of the day they are kind of like the taste makers. So I find that's like something that stuck to me, especially when it comes to like the relationship with celebrities. But I think that there's a lot more to it than just the celebrity aspect.
Yeah, and at the time, I think these designers really embodied the glamour of their design. They were their own. They were their best model. their best spokesperson, and and like a designer back then was like a destiny compared to the new gen, who's more flexible and they remaster the heritage. Their role is more about how you remaster the past with the now, and how you evolved a legacy.
Sure.
And keep it contemporary.
How do you think that Berlin can keep it contemporary? Like, what's the one thing that can stand out in Berlin a lot more than, kind of like give us? You've been in this business for a very long time. I'm telling you to give us a cheat sheet.
Yeah. Well, I think Berlin should be. I think Berlin should be this hub of new voices, just the city to give a chance to creative young talents to grow and to establish maybe new just new ways of creating a label. And I don't really see the whole star system. I think it should just be, Berlin is cool. It's a cool city of it's very young. So I think what could make Berlin stand out is the boldness of his young talents.
It should be talent exporter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. There we go. So we'll label it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that this is all the time that we have. Perfect. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it.